Good morning, and thank you for starting off your Labor Day with us. I'm Maya Eaglin in for Joe and Savannah. We begin this morning with Labor Day travel rush. The number of travelers who are taking to the skies and roads is expected to be record-breaking. Tens of millions of passengers were expected to hit the airports as they head home from their last true weekend of summer fun. But severe weather has put a damper on travel for some, causing dozens of delays and flight interruptions. NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra is at Miami International Airport with the latest.
Good morning. It might be bright and early here at Miami International, but the Labor Day rush is officially underway. The early time not stopping anyone from already starting to get in those lines. What you can't see on the other side of the camera is a 25-minute wait at the security line right next to us. So this is something that we're expecting to break records that we have not seen in years. TSA projecting to screen roughly 17.4 million passengers in total for the entire holiday stretch, which is from Thursday of last week to Wednesday of this week. Now, the weekend got off to a bit of a bumpy start. We, of course, saw the weather from the plains all the way to Florida that caused a lot of ground stops between airports in Texas and in Florida, which, of course, causes a domino effect through the airplane industry. You know that we, of course, see cancellations and delays in other pockets as a result of those ground stops and those delays. But we also saw some turbulence on Thursday that left 2 people hospitalized on a SkyWest flight to Austin. We also saw ground stops at Newark Airport that caused more than 300 delays. But when it comes to some good news here, guys, travel prices, the lowest they have also been in years. And we know traveling by car, the #1 method of travel. A couple things for you. Price at the pump, prices we have not seen since 2021, which could be another factor with these cheaper prices at the pump, cheaper hotel tickets, cheaper round trip tickets. This is probably another reason why we are seeing the travel numbers that we are. Back to you guys.
All right, Marissa Parra, thank you so much. Let's take a look at what to expect as you make your way to home from your Labor Day destination and the rest of your week with your Morning News Now weather. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman joins us now. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. So good to see you at the desk. And yes, we are going to see some travel spots or travel troubles today on this Labor Day. Not a widespread event, but we're looking at, Marissa kind of mentioned, some travel troubles in the Central Plains to the Southern Plains, parts of the Gulf into the state of Florida, and also the Tennessee Valley. So that's a hot spot of where we're going to see those slowdowns. We're also looking at extreme heat in the west, so late summer heat, temperatures 10, 25 degrees above what is typical for this time of year, into the 90s, into the triple digits. So it's going to be tough there, and that heat's going to stay in place all week long with little relief at night. It's the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, really nice. We're looking at plenty of sunshine. Temperatures fall-like in some spots. So let's talk about those travel impacts on the roads first. We're looking at the south across the Southern Plains and also Florida for that isolated heavy rain. We're seeing this at this hour, and it's going to be a situation all Monday long. And then also looking at the plains, scattered storms there. Throughout the Tennessee Valley, we'll see some showers too. So where you see the green on that map, that's where we're anticipating the rain today. Travel impacts in terms of air travel, possible delays in Kansas City, in Dallas, Houston, in Atlanta, Orlando, and also Miami. We're going to see that heavy rain kind of slowing us down, but again, not expecting widespread problems. This is what it looks like right now on radar. You can see those darker colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. That's where we're looking at the heaviest rain falling, and we will see that throughout this Labor Day. As a result, we do have flood watches. Flood watches where you see the green, that includes parts of Texas, and that has been wet all weekend long. It's going to continue to be seeing some soakers as we go throughout the day. We have a stationary front that's kind of draped across the Gulf. The good news is we're going to see it move a little bit as we go throughout today, so not quite as heavy as what we saw over the weekend. Spotty showers today, isolated rain targeting the Central Plains, a few storms staying over Florida. We saw that on that travel map. And then as we go throughout tomorrow, a chance of rain returning to the northern tier once again. We'll see lingering rain dipping into the southeast, and because of that, 4 million are under flood alerts with that flood watch in place. Here's that rainfall forecast. Notice as we look towards the Great Lakes, too, we're anticipating some rain, but it's really parts of the south, the Tennessee Valley, where you see those yellows popping in, where we're anticipating the highest amounts of rain. Extreme heat in the west, we're talking from the northwest to the southwest, 25 million Americans across the west under heat alerts. We have heat advisories. That's where you see the orange, so places like Sacramento, Orlando, Fresno, Los Angeles, and also an extreme heat watch. That's in that darker pink color. That goes in effect tomorrow and will last throughout Thursday as those temperatures rise into the 90s and then into the triple digits for some. But look at the difference in the middle of the country out to the east. We're looking at temperatures only in the 70s in some spots, below normal for this time of year. We're looking at Sioux Falls, just 75, 80 degrees today in St. Louis. Same story in the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast Mile. We're looking at temperatures only in the 80s, about 5 degrees below what is typical for this time of year. So a really nice beach day if you're headed to the Jersey Shore, if you're headed to the Long Island Sound, and then the Great Lakes looking really nice as well. Back to you.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Masses have resumed at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis following last Wednesday's deadly shooting that killed 2 children. Father Dennis Zarin, who was leading morning mass when the attack happened, encouraged parishioners to look to their faith as they try to move forward from the tragedy. Reporter Joe McCoy from our affiliate Care 11 in Minneapolis has more.
Walking into church for the Annunciation community was something routine. But this mass, the first one since Wednesday's tragic shooting, is anything but routine.
It's clear to all of us here at Annunciation that we will be sitting in a different pew for a long time to come.
Annunciation's pastor, Father Dennis Zarin, was also presiding over Wednesday's Mass when the shooting occurred.
It was loud, it just kept coming, and my first instinct was just to rush towards where the bullets were coming from. If I could have got between those bullets and the kids, that's what I was hoping to do.
Father Zarin and Archbishop Bernard Hebda spoke together about the importance of having this Mass, something they say the Annunciation community has been asking for.
In so many ways, coming for Mass is what we as Catholics do to feel that kind of normality.
The father of 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, who was killed in the shooting, sat front row in the Mass that was held inside the school's auditorium since the church is still closed.
The light of a new day is breaking. And that's what we do now at Annunciation. We watch for that light of a new day.
Parishioners after the Mass feeling deeply touched.
We always come back to Jesus as a guide.
What the Mass does is help us realize that God is here in the most difficult times. In the darkest times, as Father said, there will be light.
Our thanks to Joe McCoy for that report. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are responding to President Trump's controversial attempt to fire the Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook last week. The president tried to justify the move by alleging Cook committed mortgage fraud. Cook says she will be challenging her firing in a lawsuit. And now one influential House Democrat says Trump's actions were straight out of Richard Nixon's playbook. Here's Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker with more.
Hello there, Maya. This week on Meet the Press, I spoke exclusively to Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California about President Trump's attempt to oust Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud, which she denies. And another issue we're tracking closely are the developments at the Fed, the administration trying to oust Fed Governor Lisa Cook, accusing Cook of mortgage fraud. She denies that, and she's now suing the administration, alleging this is purely politics. But, Congressman, let me ask you, do you think Lisa Cook should just release her mortgage documents to dispute these allegations against her?
She could be transparent, but this has nothing to do with the specifics of Lisa Cook. This has to do with Donald Trump following Richard Nixon's playbook to interfere with the Fed and bully the Fed. The irony is that it's his own policies that have created the situation. If he just repealed the blanket tariffs, he wouldn't be putting the inflationary pressure that exists, and the Fed would be able to cut rates. But instead of listening to every economic advisor who has said don't just have these blanket tariffs, he's insisting on blanket tariffs that's putting inflationary pressure and leaving the Fed in a no-win situation.
Well, given that argument, do you think Lisa Cook should just release her mortgage documents to put these allegations to rest? Would you advise her to do that?
Well, sure, she should release them. She should be transparent so that we see that this is just a political football and really it's hiding an economic record. Look, Kristen, the reality here is the economic record of this administration. When President Trump took office, consumer confidence was strong. It has tanked for 7 straight months. Farm closures have doubled. Manufacturing was expanding when he took office. It has gone down every single month. Unemployment for young people, almost 11% for recent college graduates. This is a record of economic failure, and the reason it is failing is because of blanket tariffs, because of mass deportation, including immigrants who are paying taxes, and because of interference with the Fed and expertise. It's time for a new economic direction.
You can see my full interview and a whole lot more at meetthepress.com. You can also get more Meet the Press right here on NBC News Now every weekday at 4 p.m.
Kristen, thank you. The Trump administration is also facing 2 major legal setbacks this morning, one on immigration and the other on trade. Our NBC senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez is at the White House with the latest.
Maya, good morning. It's another legal setback for the White House, but one that it plans to fight. And it all comes as the administration plans to expand its crackdown on illegal immigration in another major U.S. city. This morning, President Trump facing new pushback to his immigration policies. Over the weekend, a federal judge temporarily blocking the swift deportation of unaccompanied Guatemalan children who crossed the border illegally. The showdown coming just as some of those children were due to be deported, sitting in planes on a tarmac in Texas as the legal battle played out. Some later seen deplaning. Overnight, the Trump administration saying all the children from the planes would be returned to government custody. The Justice Department arguing the deportation policy is necessary for border security and that the kids were meant to be reunited with family in Guatemala. Immigrant advocates calling the court's new ruling a life-saving protection for children fleeing violence.
So to all of a sudden snatch hundreds of children in the middle of the night and put them on planes is just unconscionable.
All part of the president's larger immigration push, which he's now looking to expand while he mulls sending federal troops into another Democratic-run state. 2 federal law enforcement officials tell NBC News that ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies plan to increase manpower and scale up operations to arrest undocumented immigrants in Chicago as early as this week.
Chicago's coming along with every other sanctuary city.
But Chicago's mayor signing an executive order saying police will not collaborate with the military on police patrols or immigration enforcement. The president has also been slamming crime in Chicago, hinting that he would like to send in troops, as he's done in Washington, D.C.
I'm willing to go to Chicago, which is a big trouble.
And engaging in a war of words with Illinois' governor.
We don't want troops on the streets of American cities. Right. That's un-American.
Stephen Miller, a White House Deputy Chief of Staff, who is the architect of the president's illegal immigration crackdown, blamed the Biden administration for children being in the U.S. without their parents, saying they were orphaned in America. He added that a Democrat judge is refusing to let them reunify with their parents. Maya?
Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is recovering in the hospital following a serious car accident. His spokesperson said his vehicle was struck from behind as he was traveling on a highway in New Hampshire on Saturday. The 81-year-old was taken to a trauma center to be treated for a fractured spine and other injuries. Before the accident, Giuliani was said to be assisting a victim of domestic violence who flagged him down. Giuliani contacted the police for the victim and left once they arrived. His vehicle was hit shortly after he pulled onto the highway.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.